last time we left off, you guys adopted some kids.
We did.
We sure did do that.
Squidly decided Kelric was his mom.
Kelric mom is best mom.
What else happened?
We tried to hold a seance.
Shit.
Oh yeah, that's where we left off. The candles had just gone out.
Oh yeah.
Jesse!
Curtis was
downstairs.
downstairs passed out while Buster was holding a seance trying to talk to the ghost in the house. Everybody else had flittered upstairs and the candles blew out as he was trying to talk to the spirit.
The ghost of Bartmas passed.
Yeah.
Cat, this is so juicy.
Told you.
We just see Cat's couch. We don't see Cat.
Yeah, Cat's over here. She could turn the laptop, but she's worried if she does, it'll fall over.
Okay. So, Buster, you're sitting there holding hands with Kurt. Kurt has laid his head down on the table and given up on the seance. And the candles you've set up in a pentagram on the table suddenly go out. And you feel suddenly cold, like a chill comes over the room. And the table rattles, shakes. What do you want to do?
Oh, yes, hello, my friend.
And the table suddenly goes still.
By the way,
And
can
you're-
you guys hear me okay?
You're a little quiet. But I can't hear you. I can turn you up too, so.
Okay.
So the table rattles.
Turn,
You say,
Rachel.
"Oh yes, hello, my friend," and the table suddenly stops. Curtis, I think you get woken up. I can never remember. Did
Yeah.
Dragonborn have dark vision?
I don't think so.
I don't think they do.
I have magic eye, like devil's vision, though.
The devil's sight, the thing that
The
gives
devil's
you dark vision. It's like a pact boon. Yeah, they don't have dark vision. So you can see in the dark though, even though normally Dragonborn can't. Okay, so your vision switches from being able to see in light to being able to see in dark, and you're looking around the empty tap room. Kurt, you're woken up by the table underneath you rattling, and then suddenly going still.
Did something happen?
Yes, my friend, we have one. This is her.
Yeah.
Sleep is important to me.
Well, I don't see anything happening yet.
What is your name? Mine is Buster Nut.
Nothing.
A leaf slowly drifts down out of the above your head, like a big maple leaf, freshly grown in the spring, like green and still crisp. Sort of flutters down and lands on the table.
Can I examine the leaf?
Yeah, you pick it up. And you're like rubbing it between your fingers and smelling it. It's like somebody just plucked it from the tree.
Is it in season?
You.
Our maple leaves in season.
Oh, Rachel, you're muted on Discord, which is why you sound quiet.
Oh.
I am here.
Oh,
We're
you're
ha-
probably coming in from my mic.
We're having a seance. We're talking to ghosts.
Cool. I'm just gonna hang out.
Cat, these grapes have seed.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh.
Man, I
Try
can.
it.
I can. Yeah, robot voice.
have to mute mine.
I am going to move my camera up. Oh, will that even work?
I don't actually see you, Jesse.
Really?
Yeah.
I do.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't.
It's on my
Really?
end. I'll reconnect.
Oh, it's fine.
I can see Rachel and Denny.
I can see Rachel, Denny, Kat. Now I see Jesse. I see everybody but you, Chris.
So same as
It's a
always.
mystery. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know what the deal is.
Wait, I got it.
Okay, so this leaf drifts down into the table. Curtis picks it up and is like smelling it and looking at it. And then what do you guys want to do? It's just it kind of goes quiet again. And there's like a stillness in the inn. Like you don't hear the bustle of the streets outside. Even at night there's usually shit going on in Waterdeep. You don't hear any sound. Their connection must be really bad. You guys have both frozen on camera. And I no longer
great.
hear. Oh, I hear Rachel now. I heard you say, "Oh, great." Jesse, you getting naked?
Just slightly.
This is a family show, sir.
Yeah,
It's
what are you
hot
doing?
up here.
Oh my god.
I mean, it is now.
Yeah.
Okay. So while Rachel and Denny try to work out their tech issues, we'll come back to the seance.
It wasn't me
Um,
this week. Yes.
Congratulations.
Jesseth, to fill you in, last week they took a job escorting some dung sweepers. Basically
As one does.
walking them around the dock ward, making sure they don't get jumped. They've been doing that during the day. They also adopted 3 street urchins
As you do.
that are
As you
currently
do.
living in your house.
They're not in my room, are they?
No, they have their own room.
Did my my
Your
nice bed
bed,
and mattress arrive?
your bed and sheets and everything was delivered by a giant ass half orc, like almost as tall as Kelric, like almost 7 feet tall, but about twice as wide.
Mattress
His,
Mac the Orc.
yeah, his name is Zaraj, and he's the guy that has been delivering the furniture you guys have purchased. And he pulls up in a cart with the furniture in the back of it, and then just by himself picks it up and carries it into the room. The bed, the mattress, the whole thing. He just lifts it, puts it on his shoulder, turns it to get it up the stairs, sticks it in the bedroom, and then like leaves. And he purposely seems to avoid like conversation. But yes, your bed was delivered.
Am I on the map? I can't select anyone.
You may not be on the map because you weren't here.
Right. I
Well,
need
I
to
mean,
put
I
my
can
person
grab-
on the bed.
Okay.
Or you can put him on my chalk drawing of a toilet.
Boop. Oh wait, that's not your token. That's just your character art. Where's your token? Where's all my player tokens? You were this guy. Da, 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 da. There you go. Now you're in your bedroom.
Oh, I need I don't know if there's some technical things I need to update. I also increased my HP to 17.
It'll update. If you put it on your like character sheet, it'll update your token and everything.
Okay. I thought I had done it.
Yeah, you got
Oh,
it. You're good.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, 17 out of 17 hit points.
And I also need to put 6 there. Cool.
Cool.
That didn't
So,
work.
are you guys back, Buster? Can you hear me?
There we go.
No. Okay, they're still doing stuff. So the night passes. A seance takes place. Most of you guys get bored and go to bed. The next morning comes up. you have several more days of escorting the dung sweepers. You're supposed to meet them at 6 bells, which is 6 a.m. So when the giant tower in the center of the city dongs 6 bells, early in the morning, you were supposed to go escort these dung sweepers.
I would like to prep my spells in the morning, so I'll probably get up at 5 bells.
Okay.
To start being like, oh, soon, you lovely man, God, please give me these spells. And then that's what I'm gonna do.
I think soon is a lady.
Yeah, whatever. Whichever one.
Yeah, she's a lady.
She's a lady.
She's a sexy redhead.
Oh, mistress. Please, yeah. And then I think she, like, lights some candles, and then, like, you know, this really pleasant smell with these cute little hearts, like, heart-shaped smoke come up, and then she gets her spells.
Yeah, Soon, also known as Lady Firehair, is the deity of beauty and love.
That one. And then, you know, she probably whacks it or something, and then goes downstairs.
And she is depicted as a beautiful woman with long flowing red hair. Here, in case anybody's curious. Because you probably know all the things about your god.
Thank you. I mean, I looked it up, and then I forgot.
In
So-
great detail, even.
Yeah, I forgot whether or not my god had a penis or not. Yeah, well, you know.
It's fine.
I mean, she can. It depends on what your preferences are.
She puts a strong emphasis on physical beauty, apparently.
Yeah, she loves physical beauty. Why do you think I'm like, are they hot?
Okay,
Mhm.
well, that makes sense now. I thought you were just doing the same thing you do with every D&D.
No, I finally found a god that makes sense.
You just found an excuse for it now.
Yes. And now it's because of my god.
Okay.
Are they hot?
So that would be like the vignette we get of Layla is her doing her morning worship and there's probably some face creams involved.
Oh, of course. It's like a whole
Like
ritual.
there's a beauty routine that is part of your like worship and prayer you have to go through where you like scrub your face and put on lotion and like make sure your nails are good and like because you have to look good. So like all
Yeah.
your clothes are straight and that is part of your prayer. It's not just like the normal vapid person's routine. That is how you worship.
Yep.
And during that you you prep your spells. Does anybody else have like a morning routine they want to go through?
She's
Chris probably eats like 3 eggs or something every morning.
Chris is doing calisthenics.
Yeah.
Gotta do all of her air squats, some pull-ups and push-ups, just to get the blood flowing.
Yeah,
With
you
all
know.
with all your gear on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm probably like in our room, like doing like sword forms and stuff.
So with my fighter character, Mr. Ditton, he had this thing where he would get up earlier than everybody else and leave, like with all of his equipment, and he'd be gone for like an hour, and then he'd come back like pouring sweat and eat breakfast. And I did this every session. The dungeon master would be like, "It's morning." I'd be like, "Mr. Ditton gets up before everybody else and leaves, and then comes back all covered in sweat." And we played for like 6 months before anybody was like, "Where the fuck is he going and what is he doing?" And so finally somebody got up early and like followed him, and that's what he was doing. He's getting up in the morning, putting all of his gear on, like checking all of his equipment, and then going out and like doing a workout routine. Like he would run and do a bunch of pull-ups and stuff, and then come back. He's gonna stay jacked.
Yeah.
So
Gotta keep your don't
Chris-
skip leg day.
yeah, never skip leg day. Chris does her morning routine.
Mhm.
Eventually it's getting on toward the time where you guys should go go meet the dung sweepers. So 5:30 in the morning rolls around, you guys begin heading out. You catch like a pedicab or a carriage and take it down to I forget the name of the inn. This was the Lord's Alliance, right?
Yes, I believe so.
Dung Super Skill. The Mule Skull Tavern. That's right. The tavern. There's no sign out front. there's just the skull of a mule on top of it. You meet them at the Mule Skull Tavern, and the day passes much as the other days have. It's hot. You sweat. It's unpleasant. Eventually, around 4 o'clock in the evening, the bells ring. The dung sweepers pack up their goods. You guys can whittle and read and sort of just wander around as you take in the day, but nothing really seems to happen with you with the big ass group of adventurers protecting these dung sweepers. So that the day passes hot and tiring, but come evening time, you are free to roam about the city. I have like a thing I might try with you guys where I might have you write goals for me, like something your character wants to achieve. And I might give you like an extra reward on top of the stuff in the game for like working toward or achieving one of those goals. So it might be something very, very simple, like I want to make Jesseth smile. I just want to do something that makes Jesseth smile one day, and then if your character role plays that out or achieves that, does something that makes Jesseth grin, I would give you like inspiration, or if it's something really simple like that, or if it's something more complicated, like I want to talk to this particular noble about this particular thing, or I want to kill this person. If it's something that more complicated, there might be like a bigger reward involved. Hey, I can hear one of you.
Yay! Finally.
You can hear us.
Yeah.
Ta-da!
Thank fuck.
It works.
Just
So a
barely.
leaf falls on the table.
So,
And what do you guys want to do?
Like, roll Arcana.
Yeah, roll Arcana on the leaf.
Hold on. Calm down.
She thinks my tractor's sexy. It's a leaf. It's like a big maple leaf.
The leaf.
The physical object does not seem to have any special properties. It's just a leaf, but its appearance was perhaps magical because the way it seemed to appear out of nothing. But it's just a leaf.
Alright,
Do I see the leaf too, or do I?
Yeah, it just drifts down and lands.
Is it tangible? Can I hold it?
Yeah,
pick
pick it up.
You
I feel it's like a green, summer leaf off of a big tree. What?
Seems fucky.
There's some fuckery about.
sharing my computer. Can we make it?
I
I
didn't
didn't catch all that,
Rachel.
Rachel.
Oh no, the evil of the seance. People are drifting in and out of phase. We can't hear Buster or Curtis anymore.
the ghost took them.
No.
You've been spirited away.
It's a
It's a
different,
different
campaign.
campaign.
Yeah,
I can hear you.
Hello, we can hear you.
Maybe
Oh no, Rachel has like 4 arms. Ah,
They call me
Call me
Rachel
Rachel
Forearms.
she's like Goro from Mortal Kombat.
No,
No,
she just has giant forearms.
Nice.
Could you make it so that Denny can access her character sheet from my computer because we're sharing it? That's all I ask.
So,
Yeah, we get it. Yeah, here we go.
How close can I get it before?
Now
Rachel's too loud.
No, she's not. Don't tell her that.
Booming.
She's perfect.
I had to turn it down.
Booming like her forearms.
Same thing.
It is a maple leaf. It's a big leaf.
Okay.
Some Canadian fuckery.
Made it cold. Can you do that again? It was cool.
Canadians.
There's no response.
I don't think so.
Tell me your name. Drops maple leaf. Do it again. Do it again.
Do it again. Try lighting the candles again.
Yeah. You pull out
like your flint and strike it a few times, or a match and strike it, and the candle sputters back to life.
Oh. Alright, can you, hear me, Mr. or Mrs. Ghost? We're here.
Did you
Hear
get
that?
Knocking. They knock back.
Okay, there's no response.
Was the knock coming from the front door?
No,
No,
it's coming from the
table
table
they're sitting at.
Inside the house.
It's coming from inside the house! We traced the knock!
So, I look under the table.
There's nothing under the table. It's just the same old wooden table.
Right, I'm going to ask you some questions, and I'd like you to knock once for no. Yes. Okay? Okay. Are you a ghost? Can't ask what it is, because that's not a
20 questions, Rachel. Get creative.
Okay, can I make a Ouija board on the table, or would the DM be upset?
I think it's not allowed.
Can she make a Waluigi board?
I mean, to be fair, we are actually trying to talk to a ghost at this point.
You don't know what kind of like controller response it would have.
Could we do like that thing from Stranger Things where we
went to bed.
Oh.
Let's string up some Christmas lights.
Way to shoot straight into the heart of the metapigeon there, Cat. You can have inspiration. It's like, no, you're not allowed to participate. You went to bed.
I'm also in bed.
I don't think I'm asleep yet. I think I'm probably still working on my puppet. But that's fair.
Is there anything else you would like to ask the spirit?
Artis, my friend, do you want to ask this ghost anything with, yes or no answers?
Can't ask it if the house is haunted, because that's yes.
Are you a friendly ghost?
If it's a good or bad ghost, if goodness is subjective.
I mean, in D&D land, it's not subjective. There's a scale applied to it.
We'll approve of the salad bar operation, ghost.
Yeah!
Salad ghost has spoken.
Do you kids in this house? Was that one knock?
Just two.
Good, because we've got to a few kids, and they seem pretty nice.
Maybe this was a haunted boarding.
Are you a kid? Okay, well, I'm narrowing things down bit by bit. It's not a kid. It's not a ghost. It's... Are you a demon?
Oh wait. No, that should have been one knock. That's my fault.
Fuck.
Aw, you got Rachel all excited.
I was about to ask, why would a demon like kids?
They're delicious.
They cause chaos.
No, it should have been one knock.
Are you
Knock-
Are
Are you an angel?
you an angel or devil?
One
Are
knock.
you an angle? Are you 90 degrees or acute?
I think they're a cute.
Or
Okay, would you like us to keep on cleaning this house? Yes.
Is Kelrick allowed to put dirt in the room?
No. Oh, we gotta break the news to Kelrick. It'll be fine. Oh, do you know about the frog in the bathtub?
Are you the frog in the bathtub?
Oh no, are you the frog in the bathtub? Okay. Are you like frogs? That's cute. Oh.
Should we build a better way of communicating with you? Say, a board with letters?
perhaps some sort of wooden puppet.
That's a no on that one. Dang it, I thought we could trick Chase.
You guys are never gonna let me live down the fact that I don't like Ouija boards.
Or assless chaps.
That's not a thing! It's just chaps!
Do you like assless? Okay, I'll stop. I'll stop fucking around. And go on with the story. Okay. So, there's, too long. Oh, damn it. That's not a yes or no. This is hard.
Do you want to end the seance there and then try another one at another time?
Yeah. Alright, well, thank you for this information, Ghost. Do you want to go to bed?
I mean, my sketchbook's right over there.
Well,
I
but
could
it's
get that.
way over
Oh my god,
here.
this is awesome. We got a cool ghost.
Have a name? Do you like us to give you a name?
Two knocks for do you have a name? One knock for would you like us to give you a name?
Oh, okay, sorry. So you do have a name. Is there a way that you can give us your name? Should I put like some dirt on the table so that you can write it out? Cleaning supplies. Do you like cleaning supplies?
I like this thing. I don't even know.
Oh, it's from Kingdom.
Do you have a preferred cleaning supplies brand?
He likes the all-natural stuff that they sell at the Crown. The garden, like the greenhouse behind you guys.
Oh, he's a green.
Yeah. Especially with kids in the house, you gotta be careful. Cleaning supplies.
Yeah, you gotta get that hypoallergenics.
So you can come back later and ask the ghost more questions that you want. Eventually, the seance ends, you guys go to bed, you go out, you escort the dung sweepers. You guys basically have another 6 days of escorting the dung sweepers where pretty much nothing is going to happen. and then you have the evenings to do whatever you want. So what do you guys do during that 6 days of like downtime where you're just escorting dung sweepers?
Cowrick's gonna make an appointment with the bank.
You want to try to set up? Yeah, didn't. Was it Floon or was it Never that was going to set that up for you?
I think it was Floon. Because I don't remember who Never Ember is.
He's the noble guy that was like buddies with Floon and looked like him, and they kidnapped.
Yes, it was Never Ember.
They kidnapped him too, and then Floon was the guy that you were actually hired to go find.
Yeah, I think it was Never Ember.
Okay. Yes, you could at some point one of the evenings you can go talk to Never Ember, Lord Ember. Renier. He was the talkative one who kept trying to bring up stuff about
that. Yeah, I know that name. I just didn't recognize.
Floon was the guy that you actually rescued who like hardly talked. That was also friends with Volo. Speaking of Volo, at some point during one of these evenings, either he probably catches Kelrick at the yawning portal. He comes up to you with like a big bundle of like papers, like wrapped in like a wax paper thing, and he's like, hang on, I gotta do the voice. Hello, it's a Volo that he never let this be said that Volo is not the man of his word. And he hands you this big giant bundle of like papers, and he's like, it hasn't been to the printers yet, but this is an early copy.
Yay!
And he goes, I had to, my apologies, I had to cut the ghosty spirity part out. There wasn't much of a hunting in Waterdeep, but this is what I came up with.
Wasn't that like the whole book, though?
Wait, but did you come up with stuff about the ghost in our house?
He shrugs. He's like, I don't think that place is haunted.
Yes, it is.
He shrugs again. I never did during my short visits there. No spirits for me.
Oh.
I'm going to add Floon's book to your journal.
Yay!
Or not Floon, sorry, Volo. I'm going to add Volo's book to your journal.
Spirits and what have you.
So when you unwrap it and you open up the first founding, the title has nothing to do with ghosts.
Damn it!
It's Volo's Waterdeep and Prydian. It's like a visitor's guide to Waterdeep.
That's good. Yeah, I'm gonna. Does it have an index?
You can look at it.
It doesn't have a bob.
It should be. It's loose leaf. It's not bound. But it's the printed sheets of the book. And it should be in your journal. You guys should be able to read it now.
Oh, cool. So that's probably going to be an afternoon.
Yeah, there's a lot. It's like legitimately a small book.
Okay, well, I am going to look up Klaus in there.
There's
not open anything except for the first page.
It should be in all your journals now. Susie, go to your journal for me. No, your journal. Yeah, that.
This thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you go to the newspaper thing up at the top that says journal, and you look down.
I went to the... it's that. Okay, I just opened the first page.
It's that whole folder.
Oh.
So it's like, welcome, traveler. Here's a bunch of stuff. Arrival in your city. Long history and brief. Oh, look at those women. Naughty. This is definitely a Layla kind of book. Surviving.
I might actually read this later. I don't want to read it now because that would take me a bit, but...
Oh, cool. Oh, it tells us all the houses. Oh, this is very useful. So we got temples. Is there a temple soon?
And he has a copy for Chris, too, because she also asked for a copy. But I added it to everybody's journal because I figured you guys can pass it around.
Ooh. Yeah, I might make like a evening trip to the Temple of Soon. And
Okay.
sit out front with my alms box and give people blessings.
Okay.
So you,
You know, the usual. That's what I want to do in the evening.
Roll like a performance check for me.
Okay. And I think what she actually does is she really just like talks to people, tells them about the beauty of things in life and how to grow stuff, and she doesn't really know how to grow anything, but whatever. All right, performance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay.
Roll a d10.
Okay.
Just a D10.
D10.
1 d10. There we go.
Okay. Through
copper and silver, people dropping stuff in your alms box, you make 8 gold pieces through the course of the evening.
That's right. So close to actually like being able to make my own holy water. I need so many ingredients. So I guess like after doing that, maybe like the next day I'll do something.
Yeah. You guys get home every evening. The kids are either in the house running around like mad, or just getting back to the house from whatever adventure they were off on. Or whichever character is not here has been babysitting them. So they don't really seem to get in the way of like your day-to-day activities, but they are rambunctious till about 8 p.m. every day, and then they pass out. So they go off on in quotation mark adventures sometimes during the day, but they seem to be coming back to the house in the evenings.
What's the oldest one's name again? I keep forgetting.
Nat.
Nat.
She's the
I think
deaf
girl.
Yeah, I think when I wake up in the mornings, when I wake up early, I want to like invite her training with me.
Sure. I mean, she would be into that. She would.
Yeah.
Okay. So on the afternoon of the 10th day of escorting these dumb sweepers, you're going to.
Did I manage to get an appointment?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
so we want to talk to Cloud. Yeah. We'll say it's for the next day. It's for you set it up for after you finish the Dumb Sweepers Guild.
So wait, before we do that, this is the last day, so I guess we'll get our 45 remaining
however
each
much
day.
it's 50 gold each.
So we'll get our 45. Okay.
So the
afternoon of the 10th day, and let me grab your guys' tokens real quick. So not here, sexy tiefling, not here. Okay, everybody else is here. Throw your tokens on this map really quick. There we go. So you guys can position yourselves in it however you see fit.
My token still thinks I'm level 1. There we go.
It just wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't set up with your hit points correctly.
So go ahead and put yourselves. You can see people milling about the streets. A few of the dung sweepers with their brooms and rakes, loading things into the cart and wheelbarrows that they carry.
I think I'm gonna be looking at the statue.
Okay. Yeah, I mean it's some long forgotten, mostly overgrown statue of like a sailor, probably a fisherman. He's got a big floppy hat. It looks like he probably had a pipe in his teeth at some point that's been broken off along with his nose. And there's some long since worn plaque that probably had his name on it.
I have to say, now every single time you say big floppy head and pipe, my brain snaps.
Oh,
don't worry about it.
I think I caress it gently and move on.
Yeah, so the dumb sweepers are going about their business, and from down one of the nearby alleys, from down this alley, you start to hear voices shouting, and then somebody starts blowing a whistle.
I would like to inform the dung sweepers that we might be getting into a little bit of trouble now. And to, you know, kind of take cover while we go check that out.
Okay.
So you start to move around the corner. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
I just fucking copy pasted like all your characters again instead of the token I wanted to copy paste.
Run into our doppelganger.
Yeah. Come around
the corner and there's a bunch of you.
Oh god, not us. We're the worst
again.
kind.
Let me grab these tokens back because now I've deleted it. So this is for the Lord's Alliance. Grab that. And grab the tokens. Guard. Where are the... This is not all my tokens. Oh.
There he is.
Oh, they that big? Hang on. How big are you? Large. Okay, they are that big. Shit.
Ah!
Oh.
So you see,
moving
its way
around the corner,
sort of
slithering and sliding, is this maggot and like question mark at the end? Yeah, it's this long sort of gray worm-like stubby creature with like many teeth and strange elongated compound eyes. And it crawls around the corner, and chasing along behind it, you can see a pair. Two of the local city guard, two of the local city watch, are chasing it and like furiously blowing their whistles and looking up as they do so. And we're gonna roll initiative.
Cool.
So guard 1, guard 2, initiative. Initiative.
Oh. Where am I? Oh.
Is that 4 for Buster or like which is the 10 and which is the 4? Buster. Oh no, I see. It's Peepaw. 4 and the 10 for Kurt.
Oh, was I supposed to click my person before I clicked initiative?
That's okay, I can fix it.
Okay.
What'd you get, Jesse?
7. Or actually, wait a minute, 9.
Okay.
I think. Wait.
It
No,
already
it would've been
added it
7.
in there. Yeah.
It's a
Yeah,
mix.
that'd be a 7.
It doesn't really make a difference, but because you'll be in the same spot. Layla, you actually react first. You can see this thing writhe its way around the corner. And it's got a couple like gash marks in its hindquarters, and there's these 2 guards chasing it, blowing their whistles, and they're yelling like, "Clear the street! Get out of the way!"
I think I'm going to... Can I move the dung sweeper, like, down the street? Can I be like, drag him?
Yeah, which dung sweeper do you want to move? The one that's
under Kelric?
Under Kelric?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that would be your turn.
Yeah. So I'm gonna, like, yell at this guy that's on the corner to, like, run inside or run away.
Where do you want to move him to?
Okay, so I want to move this guy. I want to move him... Can I get him to, like, over here or further back?
Like right there? You can get him like right there.
Okay.
That's about as far as I can get him? Okay.
Which will put you like here.
Okay, that's what I want to do.
So Layla runs and like grabs this dude by the back of his collar and just drags him back out of the way and throws him around the corner. Oh, I should roll initiative for the commoners probably.
Yeah, because you know, they might run away themselves.
I mean, they will. They just need a turn to do it. Commoner. I like how it's under monsters. Plus nothing.
That's
So
the thinnest pen I have ever seen in my life.
15.
It's very,
Very cool.
yeah, I like it a lot.
Slower than the
Texas art supply. And then a month
Okay.
later,
That makes it this thing's turn. There's like a woman, not one of the dung sweepers you're protecting, but she's like going about her daily business. She sort of stumbles around the corner into the path of this thing, and it writhes its way forward and attempts to gnash at her. So as it leans forward to try to bite from around its neck, similar to like a cobra's hood spreading, like it opens up, but instead of it being like one solid piece of flesh, it's a group of about 8 writhing tentacles, and they lash out at this commoner.
Oh no.
well, rest in peace.
14 to hit, which hits. 3 points of damage. And then it yanks her into its mouth and bites at her.
Well,
But she
goodbye.
manages to hold off the bite. So she's thrown up her arms in front of her face. The tentacles wrap around it, pull it in toward its mouth, and as it gnashes at her, instead of biting deep down into her, it just rakes its teeth down the front of her arms. Which makes it her turn. So she will struggle to free herself. What's your escape DC? Constitution. The target can repeat this. Okay. So she shoves off of it. The thing sort of annoyingly throws her to the side, and she stumbles around the corner, bleeding and sobbing.
Oh.
Kelrick.
Someone go help her. I don't have
Well,
any potions.
Does this thing look like it's about to go after her, or is it going to keep charging forward?
I mean, the guards are coming in behind it, and you guys are coming. You've kind of got it pincered, but it looks like it's at this point. It's kind of like its head is moving from side to side rapidly, and you can see it's like odd-shaped eyes looking for, the next target.
Huh. Okay, I have a mechanical question to ask.
Yeah.
If I want to turn into something and taunt it, can I, instead of like, how most of the time it's I move, then it moves, and I move, then it moves.
Yeah.
Is it possible to instead have it be basically me using my turn to stay 5 feet in front of it at all times, so that if it moves, I continue to be 5 feet in front of it?
Not really. Because you could hold your action to move and then move. Like if you hold your action to move 5 feet, you would move 5 feet, and that would be it.
Okay.
Or you could like move your whole movement. Like you have to either, like you can't hold your action.
Well, because the problem
to
is
move in
I want it
chunks
to
like that.
chase. Yeah. Well, the problem is I want it to chase me, but if I run ahead, what it'll do is it'll just hit whoever's closest, which would not be me.
Right.
Okay. Then. What's the challenge rating on this thing?
You don't know.
That's metagaming, Cat.
I want to know if I can turn into it.
Well, it's not a beast, I don't think.
You could make a nature check to see if you could identify it.
I'll do that. I'm sorry, I know it's metagaming, but it's like, is it more than one? That's what I want to know.
You could try to turn into something big if you just want to block it or something.
You don't know what it is.
Dang.
It's a
Okay.
mystery.
It's not a creature you are familiar with.
Okay, well.
Doesn't seem like something you would be able to shapeshift into.
Okay, that's all I wanted to know. The knowledge that I wanted is there. Okay, can I'll hold my turn in for it to attack another commoner, and if it does, I will get between it and said commoner.
Okay, sure. So you're gonna hold your move to like move into a defensive position if it turns its gaze on another commoner.
Yes.
Okay. Chris.
Me. So there's just one of these things, right? Is there more than
That's
one?
all you see.
Just one? Okay. I'm not far. Don't really need to measure. I'm gonna run up to it and stab it.
Okay. Yeah, Chris goes running toward it, sword singing out of the sheaths.
Do that thing that I do. Do a stab.
Does
stab.
No resistances. Both hit.
Boop, and a boop.
7. And okay. 14 points of damage. So Chris rushes into the fray with this thing. Before it can turn its head back around the corner, give it 2 quick stings with a rapier, and you can see little welts of blood. When you stab into it, like now that you've moved closer to it, the smell is wafting off of it that throws your mind back to your rescuing Floon from inside the sewers.
Oh, it smells like it crawled up from somewhere nasty.
When it bleeds, like when the blood comes out of it, it's not like red fluid, it's like a viscous white pussy substance.
Gross.
Danny.
Giant zit? Ew.
I guess so.
Yes, we're fighting as a giant zit.
So, Kurt, it is your turn. I don't hear Kurt.
Kurt, what you want to do?
Hello.
What are you?
You're casting sleep. Where do you want to put your sleep spell?
I guess directly at it.
Remember what happened last time? You cast sleep. It's a radius of
Someone can
effect,
wake me up.
and it starts with the creature with the lowest hit points,
Which is probably you.
which is actually Kelrick.
Which is probably me.
And if you put Kelrick to sleep, then that's 16 of the pool of 35 hit points gone. So if this thing has more than like 20 hit points, you're not going to put it to sleep. You're just going to put Kelrick to sleep.
And no fixins for you.
Can you just choose a radius that's like behind where the thing is?
I believe it's a 20-foot radius. So you would get the guards if you cast it back here.
I have a weird question. Can I actually, instead of putting the monster to sleep, can I put that nice lady that got bitten to sleep?
Same thing. You would catch your party in it.
I just scoot her all the way over here, or I'm out of range.
You just want to move her? Like just drag her up here?
Out of range of my buds.
Okay. Yeah, so you just run up, grab this woman, drag her. So she goes from being like mauled by this giant monster to being pulled into a back alley by a crazed half-orc. So she's screaming.
Reason.
Yeah, she's screaming and panicking and freaking out, but you drag her back up out of the way. Jessup.
For your own good.
It's for our own good.
So I'm gonna attempt to use Mind Thrust on this.
Okay.
Being.
What'd that do?
It's the hold on. How do I send the?
You just click on the thing in your spells or wherever it is.
Yeah. I want you to go back.
Thrust it with your mind.
Oh.
Okay, so it's a DC 13 intelligence save. Ugh. I got a 10. It actually rolled really well. So 6 points of psychic damage?
8 because of my focus.
Oh, okay, because you're a thing. Okay.
Yeah.
So 8 points of psychic damage. And it has no other effect, right? Yeah. So Jessa sort of stares at this thing, and you can see as it like pans past him, it suddenly like recoils in pain and lets out like a gurgling noise and pulls its head away, but it's still up. The guards. One of them runs up and attempts to stab it with his spear, and the other one is going to throw his spear. Hit. hit or more damage. Okay, so the guards are harrowing it from behind. One of them hurls a spear into its back, the other one stabs deep into it. It frantically is flipping back and forth between them and Chris. Rachel. Don't hear you.
Still don't hear you. Oh, heard the last bit of your words.
Make sure the mic isn't like hardline muted.
Hello?
There we go.
Hello.
It's hard because we,
You're sharing a headset.
Denny's headphones died.
Okay. So what do
Oh.
you want to do?
Let me look at my, and hopefully not close the whole thing by accident again like I did a few minutes ago. Okay, so, breath weapon, then I'm gonna hurt somebody.
You would hit Chris and the 2 guards.
Yeah, no, I better not.
Chris
how
can
about...
take it. We don't care about the guards.
No, I can't though.
And I care about the guards.
I'm like squishier than I should be, I think.
I mean, you're the least squishy person on the board right now.
Am I really?
Yeah.
We're all pretty squishy.
Good.
You have the highest
Our
hit
normal-
points.
Our normal non-squishy person is out of...
Chill touch. 21 hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
Hey.
5 points of necrotic damage. The spectral wolf paw swipes again.
Wait,
Until then, your hand clings to the target, so it grabs into it, latches on. It also has disadvantage on attack rolls against you. Okay. Layla.
Layla is going to go all super crazy, and she's like, "You are not beautiful," and gonna guiding bolt him.
How could you?
It's not. 16 hits.
You are
Ow.
not. 17 points of radiant damage, please.
Damn. Okay, so you call
Blinded
down
by the light.
the beautiful shimmering pink light of Soon, and the little hearts float and pop on it. It recoils back in pain and then lunges forward at Chris.
Sounds like a Care Bear stare of death.
So it's gonna go
It's a
at
scare
you
bear stare.
with the tentacles. It got a 28 to hit. So you take 5 points of poison damage, and I need you to make a Constitution saving throw. Okay, you pass. So the tentacles wrap around you, pulls you in toward its mouth, and you can smell its like fetid, disgusting breath. And where the tentacles manage to lash at your skin past your armor, you can feel like it burns and tingles, but you hold off the poison, and then it attempts to bite you. 21 to hit.
Yeah.
For 7 points of piercing damage. So it pulls Chris in, and then its big, nasty, like gnawing teeth bite into your shoulder. The commoners spend their shit piecing out. So they just run. Kelrick.
I'm gonna step her. And now I'm gonna touch my friendo. And give her a good touch. Do the cure wounds on her.
Okay.
Thank you.
So Kelrick calls upon the healing power of nature.
Do you rub like a
is-
salve on her?
Yeah,
You're like, here you go, buddy. Like massage her shoulders.
He just like spit on me and like.
Nah, I think what happens is that whenever Kelrick touches, like, something bursts out into flowers.
Okay.
Oh, that's cute.
So you feel Kelrick's healing magic.
Flowers will grow in Chris's hair.
Okay. Yeah, you feel Kelrick's healing magic and smell the sudden blooms of spring You regain 11 hit points, and then it's your turn, Chris.
I'm just gonna stab it some more.
Actually, I'm gonna change that from flowers to leaves. That seems more Celtic.
Yeah.
Sure.
So give it the kill stabs. Oh, that'll hit.
Stab.
Yeah, they both hit.
Stab.
Okay. How do you want to kill it? So it's wrapped its tentacles around you. It's pulled you into its mouth and bitten down on your shoulder.
I think I'm gonna use like the tentacles as leverage, and I'm gonna pull it closer and just kind of like flip my swords in.
So you like wrap your arm around the tentacle, like and yank it back down into you, and you jam the rapier up into it, and with the other arm pull the head of this creature down onto your sword. And you feel it spasm, and that there's a pop of pussy goo in your face, and that horrifying fetid smell, and then the thing spasms in your loving embrace and goes limp.
Gross. Y'all, this is gross.
You can see the
I am
the
going
guard
to taste it though. Can I taste it? Can I taste like the gross goo that
Make
came out of it?
Make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. Like, I'm just curious. I know it smells terrible, but
At 12. So you lick a little bit of it off your face. It just tastes like shit, like literal like sewage in your mouth. So you
Okay.
immediately
Buster, you're a bad influence.
You immediately turn and spit it out, though. So you're not
yeah.
poisoned by it. The guards come up. We're out of initiative now. So the guards come up and begin like poking it with their spears, and like one of them smacks it with the shield, and then they kind of look up at you and blink a few times, and one of them nods, and he's like, "Thank you. That was There would have been a lot of death probably had you not been there to stop that thing."
Are they hot?
Yeah, that thing was real gross.
They are of average attractiveness.
Did it just come out of the sewers or something? Smells awful.
Yeah, charisma of 10. They are exactly average. Yeah, he nods and he's like, we had reports of one of the sewer grates down by the dock being broken open. We went down to investigate, and this fucking thing came sliding out.
Oh.
Was anybody else injured?
Welcome, I guess.
He shakes his head. No, we started giving chase immediately, and as long as that woman it grabbed is okay and your friend there is fine, I don't believe anyone was hurt. Again, you have the thanks of the city watch.
Well, you're welcome. Pleasure to be of service.
We get paid.
Yeah, and he kind of blinks and he's like, I recognize you've been escorting those dung sweepers to the street.
Yes. Yes, we have.
He shrugs. I guess it's a good thing they had you.
Definitely. This is quite the monstrosity.
Kelrick's gonna wander off to find that woman.
She fucking peaced out. Like, she is
Alright.
gone.
I was gonna fix her, but I guess not.
She ran until she got home.
Yeah, she'll be alright.
Yeah.
Don't worry about her. She'll be alright.
Also, now that it's dead, can I try to identify it?
Yeah, roll a nature check.
Let me see if I know what this thing
Also,
is.
Chris, you are covered in its like viscous goo and your own sweat. Like,
Yeah.
because it's hot.
Yeah.
In other words, your max amounts of gross.
Yeah.
It's
So-
crusting in the sun.
Chase,
Mhm.
I think my character would want to practice its
Oh.
newly discovered
Well.
telepathic power. So
Sure.
can I just like, try to this lady that's over here in the bottom left in the red?
All of the commoners have run like a map.
Oh, so they're not all here. So
Yeah,
we don't see any.
They're gone.
What about the guards? Are the guards there?
Yeah, the guards are still standing there talking to Chris.
I think I want to try to send a booming hello to one of the guards.
Like
Oh,
in
no.
is it like in his mind?
Yes, in his head.
Okay.
Oh no.
He like it doesn't cause damage or anything, right? Just let you talk
Correct.
into there. Okay. So he screams, and he's like, "Oh bloody hell!" And then he looks around confused, and he stabs his spear into the creature again.
I'll take it.
And he like wrenches the spear back and forth like into its head, and then he looks back at the other guard. He's like, "Do you think I got its brain?" Chris, it is called a carrion crawler.
Oh.
And it is not a beast; it's a monstrosity. I think maybe you know what it is because you are familiar with things that are commonly disliked by dragons. Dragons have a particular hatred of these because of the smell, and they have like a more acute sense of smell.
Yeah, he pretty stinky.
I want to
They're
like
pretty stinky right
give it a
here.
thorough search. First.
I mean, there's not much to search. It doesn't have
Did it
any.
eat any gold?
No, it doesn't have any
nothing but poop.
gold in its pocketses.
Does it have any
shucks.
goodies tucked up in its
Search its
tentacles?
poop for gold.
No, it's and the guards are like they look at you guys and they're like, could you get your dung sweepers back down here to help us? Do they have a wheelbarrow? How the fuck are we gonna move this thing?
I think I recommend that we chop it into pieces and then we can put it in some wheelbarrows.
It's gonna make it worse.
And the two guards kind of look at each other, and then the one that's been talking looks back at you and he's like, "I'll give you 5 gold if you do that without us here."
Done.
And so the two of them pool together like 5 gold between the two of them, hand it over to you, and then they're like, we've got to get back on patrol. And the other one's like, yeah, patrol.
All right. Sure. I'm gonna put 5 gold in the party loot.
And then as they're walking off, one of them's like, "Why did you stab it again?" He's like, "I heard a voice in my head. I think it was trying to talk to me." And I was like, "That's dumb. That isn't. You're dumb. That doesn't make sense."
You're dumb.
Yeah. So they argue about it as they're wandering off.
Well, since Layla agreed to do that, and since I'm already covered in like monster goo, I guess I'm gonna help chop it up.
Yeah.
And take out my hand axes. And...
Coward doesn't have part in this. Everything about this is wrong.
Is there enough flow in the sewer lines to like flow chunks of this out to
Just
wherever it
flush
goes?
You may have to chop it up pretty small for that, but
I mean, there's
well,
a
we're
sewer
in the
grate.
dock ward.
There's a sewer
Like,
grate
are the
right
docks nearby?
Yeah, I guess we could just dump it.
Yeah,
whatever.
we could just throw it into the ocean.
Yeah, well, I guess that's
It's
what we do.
probably fine.
We just kind of work on disposing it.
Okay, sorry, I had to pee. Yes, you. The docks are like 2 blocks away. The actual ocean.
Yeah.
So we'll just like drag it and heave it. I guess I don't know.
I can show you because the street that the dung sweepers are cleaning is Ship Street. Are you talking to us, Rachel?
No, we're thinking out loud.
Okay. So the ship they're sweeping is Ship Street. It's this street. And this is the 10th day, so you guys are down toward the end of it. So the docks are just like right up around the corner.
Okay, yeah, maybe we don't have to cut it up. We can just kind of all heave-ho it down the street.
You can't just kick it into the bay.
That's what they're doing.
I mean, I can carry a good amount of weight if you want to hitch it up to some sort of rope system.
Well, I mean, I'll help you.
I mean, for the sake
I'm
of
also
brevity,
pretty strong.
you guys can get it into the ocean and dump it.
I'm just not touching that shit.
And it disappears into the azure blue water, leaving pustule nastiness behind as it drifts away, probably to be eaten by some sort of strange sea creature.
Awesome.
Cool.
Or another one of it.
I'm just I'm gonna jump in the water real quick to get some of this gross stuff off of me.
Yeah, I mean the dock's like 10 feet high, but the water is deep. Make a perception check when you jump in.
Oh, okay.
Uh-oh.
I don't see nothing.
Okay,
blind.
it's just water. You're
Yeah.
wet. It's salty and briny. It washes a bunch of the goo off of you, and you can swim back up and climb back onto the dock pretty easily.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
She's gonna get back to the room, and we're gonna figure out she's covered in leeches.
I don't. Do leeches live in the ocean? I thought leeches were like freshwater.
Sydney,
They
this
are.
is D&D. There
they?
are no rules.
There are no rules except the ones I set.
Yep.
Okay.
No, you don't get covered in leeches. It's just wet and yeah, briny and salty. It's hot outside. I assume you take your armor off to do this. You're not jumping into salt water with metal armor on.
Probably not, I guess.
But
I
you
don't know,
get
like
you get cleaned up.
I'll wash it down when I. But like,
You get cleaned up. The water here is really choppy. I mean, you probably have fairly high athletics. So, like, what's your athletics?
like. I have a +5.
Yeah, no, it's. I mean, you're a strong swimmer then, so it's no problem. Yeah. So, but the water's choppy. This is not the area most people would come for like a swim, but it is refreshing.
Yeah, well, I just don't want to be covered gross sewer goo.
If you did want to go to a beach just to like hang out and swim, most people go down to Queenspire, which is a lighthouse. Down to the south.
Ooh. How far south?
I'll put it on your map.
Okay.
Right here. That's north. And a little further south. Right there. So there's a big like enclosed beach there. Ships come and go through that massive gate to the Great Harbor, but like the interior area they are fairly. So that's like the oh god, think like Venice Beach. That's where people go to hang out at the beach.
Okie dokie.
There is probably like a drain nearby. Well, you're not too close to Fish Gut, but there's probably a drain nearby where something being processed in the city gets dumped into the ocean. So
That's fine.
It's a little
Well,
gross.
like anywhere where there is ships, water isn't usually very clean anyway.
But it's cleaner than
like,
you are.
Yeah, it's cleaner than like sewer monster guts.
So this thing gets dumped. Chris gets cleaned up. The rest of the day, you guys have to go and get them back to work. But the rest of the day passes uneventfully. It is the 10th day, so you get paid. You get your I think you guys were owed 45. Another 45 gold, so it was 50 total. So you get paid your 50 gold for your 10 days of work.
Sweet.
Nice.
I got so much coin. I'm gonna go buy a health potion.
Layla, where'd you put your goal?
Oh, I put it in my bio and info because I don't know where else to put it.
That's a good place for it.
And yeah.
Treasure, features and traits. Where'd you put
Bio and info? It's up at the top.
Oh, here.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. She's just gonna start casting light. Like a lot.
Okay. So you're working toward another spell. Okay.
Yeah.
How far have I gotten on my puppet? In these 10 days.
You'll be able to finish it by like the next day.
Okay, cool.
Okay. So the evening comes and goes. The kids are being watched by Kimbo during the day. So sword lessons are had. Chris, when you teach Nat, like when you're teaching her sword like forms, when you're teaching her the correct movements and things like that, she can understand what you're saying, but you have to make sure that you're looking at her, that you're like face to face when you're talking.
Yeah.
And
I want to try and like mix in stuff that I learned from like the sign language book also.
Yeah, it helps actually because she does understand parts of like the standardized sign language.
Mm-hmm.
Like she seems to have her own. Like she was probably not taught sign language properly. This is probably things she pieced together on her own. The other two kids seem to understand her just fine, but you have to make sure you're facing her when you talk, and she doesn't learn much from listening to you talk. But when you physically demonstrate things for her, she picks up on them very quickly. And if you do little things
I
like
feel like Chris
help her
is
adjust her foot
talker.
here or there, she like physically her body mechanics seem really good. Like she picks up on things like this quickly.
Oh, and Uzi's character is probably teaching Squidly.
How to use a
Rogue
bow.
character. Squidly likes bows. Sense.
Nice. Yeah, I'm gonna try to see if I can get holy water somehow, like either volunteering as a art guide through the church or.
Okay. So, the evening of the 10th day, the kids finally seem to notice Jetheth for the first time. Like they it just hasn't dawned on them that there was another person in the house. And Jetheth, this little fat, dark-skinned boy, this little Kalamshet boy, chubby kid, like 8-ish, 7 or 8 years old. He's got like a dirty stuffed owlbear clutched in one hand and like a curled, like gnarled wooden stick in the other. And he walks up to you and he squints at you really hard and he goes, "Are you a wizard? Do you know magic?"
So, can I use my telepathy again to put a booming no as a response?
Yeah, so you like the booming response in his brain. He squints and like shakes his head and goes, "Well, that sucks," and then he just walks off. And he's like, "I know magic," so there, and then like they just wanders off to go do something else in the house.
I am well pleased.
Can I try to like, well, since I'm working on practicing casting light a lot, can I see if I can like ask him if he wants to, learn different kind of magic?
He looks at you, kind of looks you up and down, and goes, "Are you a wizard?"
I'm a cleric.
That's not the right kind of magic. I'm a wizard. Wizard spells.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know any wizard spells, I don't think. Or I
And
don't
it,
know
like-
any that cross over.
Yeah, and he's like starts to mumble and like wander off, and he's pretending to be adventurers. Don't have a wizard.
We've never had a wizard in our party, huh?
No, I mean
we
you
had
have
one. We had one once, but it was for a one shot.
you have 2 arcane spellcasters in your party, but both of them have pretended not to be arcane spellcasters.
Well, one is don't we have like one that's a warlock and the other one is
A bard.
A bard? Oh.
Yeah.
Jetheth is.
There's no wizard spell.
Those are wizards.
I have a couple of letters
know
in that
magic.
word that connect to wizard.
But you do know magic. Where did I put the map for this?
W-A and R. R.
There it is. Is this the correct? Yeah. Okay. So the next day is your Clouth cat.
Yeah. People will notice that it got kind of distant from the kids for like a
And
week.
it's like mid-morning. You're supposed to go talk to him around 10 bells, which would be around 10 a.m. You're not sure what Never Ember, like what strings he had to pull or what he said to get you the appointment, but he does have an appointment set for you.
Yay! I'm a little nervous. I am more than a little nervous.
Talk to a dragon. Do you need someone to hold your hand while you talk to a big bad dragon?
Not you.
I don't know if you've told anybody else that you've set this meeting.
I don't think I have.
Or if you're just like, I have a thing I want to go do.
That. I don't think I've told anyone that I have an appointment.
So, is there anything you want to do in preparation?
I don't. I think he's just trying to work up his nerve, to be honest.
Okay. So you spend most of the early morning working up the nerve, and then head out to the North Ward. Well, I guess you're in the North Ward, but you head out to.
And I'm gonna write out the thing as much as I know it, or as much as I remember it.
Okay. The like dream that you had and the prophecy.
Yes.
Okay. So you eventually go to the assigned address, and it's a low building, and we have players have seen this building several times, but you characters have not. It's a low building, squat and square. It has a sign out front that just says the Dragon's Hoard. And it has it's gray stone, so it sort of sticks out across the rest of the buildings. And it has two heavy like iron doors at the front, but because of the summer heat, they are open, and you can see on the other side there's a lit room with no windows and a giant oaken desk with a huge book opened on it. And sitting behind the desk is a tall, thin, very pale figure with his hair is shock white, and not like gone gray, but like white like a wig, like they would have worn, you know. But it's pulled back in like a tight, very ornate bun. The character's wearing like very fine clothing, but his features are elongated. You can see as he's writing with a quill in the ledger, his fingers are long and in sharp little nails, and like everything about him seems a little stretched and a little too tall and a little too angular. So you're standing outside the door, and you can see him 15 feet away from you, writing.
I'm gonna look around, be like not quite sure what I'm supposed to do, but I'll like slowly walk up to the podium and say, I think I have an appointment.
Yeah, and the book slams shut, and the figure, he has gray eyes that just having him makes a bit, and he goes,
cutting out a lot.
Oh, sorry. So just having him look at you makes you squirm a little bit. He has like gray, like shot gray eyes, and he looks up at you with his long fingers rested on the desk and says, "Yes, I believe Klauth had a appointment at 10 bells. You're a bit early."
Sorry, I can wait if I need to.
He shakes his head. No, early is good. And he smiles at you. When he smiles, you can see his teeth are all sharp.
Oh no, I thought you were gonna say that.
Like all the way across. And he says, "Oh, how rude of me. My name is Belial. I'm Klauth's secretary of sorts. Please, you may come with me." And there's a door off to the left that he kind of motions to. And on next to the door is like a small wooden, fairly simple table with a candelabra with like 8 candles set on it. And he goes over and picks it up and strikes a match off the table, slowly lights each candle, like very deliberately. And he turns to look at you, puts his hand on the door handle and goes, "Stay close to me. The way is complicated." And then he opens the door. And then
Kelric does that. And you know how people do that thing where they don't know what to do with their hands?
Yeah.
He's doing that.
Okay. So Belial he shows you into, and it's stone and parts, and then he'll like turn left and it's bookshelves, and then he'll go right and open a door and it's like a sitting room. And like this goes on for about 10 minutes. He leads you through this winding, like nonsensical path. There's like a secret door in one of the bookshelves that he opens, and like it doesn't really like it's hard to follow where you're going. But very quickly you would realize that like it's been too many rooms and too much space for the size of the building that you saw outside. Like you've been in here longer. Like the office that you were just in had to have taken up half of this building, but it just seems to be going. And then eventually he comes to one last heavy iron door, and he puts his hand on the handle, and he Now, there's no need to be afraid as long as you're polite. And then he opens the door. And dude.
Well, that shouldn't be a problem. Kelrick's totally polite.
And on the other side of the door, you can see mount just this massive pile of gems and jewels and what have to be magical weapons, and a couple of crowns are sticking out. There's just this mountain, this massive 30-foot tall pile of gold, and resting gently upon it, sort of curled up like a cat, is a giant red dragon. Its scales shimmering and glittering in the torchlight that spreads across the room. And the head sort of lifts up, and gold tinkles from his chin, and the face turns and looks at you, and then scans past you to look at Belial. Belial says, "Yes, Lord Clouth, this is your 10 o'clock." And the dragon turns its massive head to look at you. When it looks at you, you can feel, even from this distance, the heat of its breath, like the hot air swimming across the stone. And the dragon head swoops down low, below the gold. He sort of crawls forward, and you can hear the gold shifting underneath him, and looks down at you.
Kelrick's getting increasingly nervous.
And he sort of blinks his eyes, and each eye big as you are tall. And he looks down at you and says, "Well, hello. I believe we have a mutual friend. He told some questions."
Yeah.
And then he rolls over like a cat, onto his back with his belly up, and is looking at you upside down, on his giant pile of gold, and one big claw slaps on his chest and starts scratching his chest. And you can hear the sound of it reverberating off the walls, and see the gold shaking away as he's clawing at himself.
Kelrick's gonna say, "So this is what gnomes feel like standing next to me." And then he immediately gets mad at himself because he thinks this is totally the inappropriate time.
Do you say that out loud?
Yeah.
Yeah. And he says, the dragon then says, "Oh, I doubt that. You don't seem like the type to eat a gnome."
That is fair. Okay. So I'm here because, well, and he takes a deep breath and he says, "You probably understand how prophecies and that sort of thing works. You've been around long enough for that. So I was curious if you've ever heard of a case where the prophecy could be broken?"
Yeah, and he rolls back over, and again the gold shifts underneath him, and he begins to climb down the pile of, not quickly or threateningly, but he moves closer to you, and he takes a great inhale.
Oh God, say that whole NPC move.
Yeah, he takes a great inhale, and all your clothes flutter toward him as he sniffs in, and you can feel the heat from him as you're pulled a little. It's like having a strong wind, all of a sudden the suction. You kind of have to take a step forward to keep your balance, and then he snorts, and a bit of smoke billows out of his nose and swims across the floor. And he says, "The prophecies of your kin are often short, little blips. I don't take much notice."
Understandable, but one with my lifespan, they mean quite a lot. So I was perhaps thinking a trade. If you could perhaps tell me how to break my prophecy, I'd owe you a favor, sorts, depending on the favor.
So you believe you have some sort of destiny you'd like to avoid, and you thought because I am old, I would have knowledge on how to prevent such things.
More knowledge than I possess, yes.
Yeah, and he starts to serpentine, turn away from you, and as he turns his back to you, his great tail whooshes over your head, and you can feel the wind coming off of him. And he claws his way back up onto his pile of gold, and and settles in, and he goes, I often have need for tasks to be completed, debts to be collected. Perhaps you could serve me in one of those in return for the information you seek.
That is fair. Yes.
He nods. He's like, very well, then tell me, what is the great prophecy? I assume there's blood and destruction.
Isn't there always whenever someone's trying to...
And he says, when it comes to the more short-lived of you, such thing seems to be the worry.
So I'm gonna offer up the sheet, or tell him in a way that I don't have to tell all the other players.
It's on your character sheet, right?
Yes.
Where on your character sheet?
Although
here it is.
if
Okay.
I kind of did a loose one, so if you want to fiddle with it, you're free to.
Wait, not tell the other players. We're not here, right?
Exactly.
Okay, just wanted to make sure. Do I see that happening? I'm outside getting drunk.
You can hear it through the portal. Elsewhere. But yeah, if you want to fiddle with it so it becomes more ambiguous or other such things.
No, I'm just trying to figure out.
What part he wants to latch on to.
He says, you know, just because I'm red does not mean I know everything. Fire. That's a little racist.
You're the easiest dragon to meet without worrying about getting...
Yeah, and his lips curl back in what is either a sneer or a smile. It seems odd. And you kind of glance over your shoulder, and Belial's standing behind you with a book open, writing in it. And he says, I believe I know someone that could help. Someone that could dip into certain things to perhaps push them away, or at least block them for a time. And he kind of like his eyes narrow at you. Do you ever have dark thoughts?
Do you ever get nervous? No. I read that damn song. Yes, but not things that I do, just things that'll happen. Get what I mean?
He nods and he says, as well, come back in 3 days then, and I will arrange for these thoughts to be subdued in some way.
Kelrick does like a little head nod of...
Yeah, and as you're going to leave, he goes, oh, and that little vial you carry with you, that is in poor taste.
Sorry.
And then he sort of nods his head to Belial, and does that thing, circles around his pile of 3 or 4 times, and then lays back down in it. And Belial reaches back behind him and opens the door.
What's the vial?
Don't worry about it. It's fine.
I'm sure it's...
Yeah. So
as soon as the door closed behind him, the biggest exhale of relief.
Yeah, and Belial looks at you and he goes, "Yes, it is quite nerve-wracking. I've tried to convince poor dear Clouth that perhaps taking another form would make such meetings go a little more smoothly, but." He looks back at the door. Well, to be honest, I think he prefers the intimidation of his form.
To be fair, if he was in the other form, people would likely rob him. You don't really understand what you're fighting unless you actually see.
And when you mention robbing him, please. And he motions down the hall, and he takes you back out.
You literally cut out for the entire
that
sentence.
would be difficult.
Please.
Sorry, he says that robbing Cloth would be difficult, and then he says please and motions for you to follow him, and he takes you back out. He goes back the way you think you came, but it's a different hall than you came in through, and like he leads you back out the maze in another way than what you came in. And then eventually you come back to the office, and he places the candelabra on the table and blows out the candles, and he goes, well, I have marked your return in 3 days in the books. Clouth by then will undoubtedly have something for you to do.
Is it also 10 o'clock?
It's like 10:30 by this time.
No, for the appointment.
Oh, he opens the book and flips through it, and he's like, oh, yes, he'll be open at that time. He tends to take most of his meetings in the evening.
Okay, 10 o'clock in 3 days.
Okay.
Thank both very much.
Yeah, he smiles, and you can see the all too teeth again, and he nods, and he holds out a hand of fingers far too long and far too pale toward the door again.
Oh, thank God! I thought he was offering a handshake.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't reach out. In fact, he like touching.
That's fair. Okay.
He avoids touching.
I skedaddle. I don't run, because I'm an adult. But my walk is just shy of brisk.
I gotta go shopping, so I put a thing.
Okay, and yeah, he watches you leave under his great bushy white eyebrows, gray eyes, and you exit back out of the street, breathing that final sigh of relief, because being around Clouth is uncomfortable because of his size and the idea of what he could physically do. Being around Belial just like makes your skin crawl a little bit. It's like you ever meet somebody and you're just like, oh, that dude's creepy. Like,
everything
what the fuck?
about them feels gross. That's what it is.
Everything about Belial just like makes your skin crawl. All right, so that is Kelric. What is I guess?
Yay!
I guess Layla had something she wanted to do.
Yeah, I'm gonna go collect some phosphorescent moss and then buy some parchment and check some prices on a small silver mirror. And we can gloss over that if you want.
Okay, so you're just shopping?
Yeah.
So the parchment you can get at the book. So you could go talk to Rashal about that.
At the bookstore.
Yeah, the bookworm.
Okay.
The other stuff you would have to probably go out of Troll Skull Alley to get.
Okay, like a mirror in the moss.
Yeah, like the mirror and things like in the moss. But they're all things that are readily available in Waterdeep.
Okay. Well, I wasn't sure if, since Layla is such a beauty queen, she had a mirror, but I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think she probably was just using like whatever she had.
A bucket of water?
Yeah, to see herself, to do her makeup. Don't know.
Okay. Is there anything anybody else wants to do with their day?
I'm gonna finish my puppet.
Do I have any more? Oh, sorry.
Oh, I wanted to learn sign as well.
Okay. Jassy, what were you saying?
I was asking if I had any more money than I did last time, or if I just have about the same.
You guys just made 50 golds.
Okay. Can I buy more furniture for my house?
Yep. You wanna go visit Tally?
Yeah.
Your house? This is our house. In the middle of our street.
In the middle of Waterdeep.
How much will it cost for this magical toilet that like transports waste randomly into the ocean somewhere?
It's not magical. It's plumbed.
Oh.
You'd have to go to the Plumbers Guild to get it done.
Mm.
To get the new piping and stuff put in. But
So wait, does that mean the conversation would be, how much for those magical toilets that automatically bring waste into the ocean? And they give him an estimate, he's like, man, how does everyone afford that? And they're like, no, they just have normal toilets. And he's like, oh, there's normal toilets?
I mean, the house itself has plumbing, and there are 3, I think, privies with toilets that are plumbed in them.
No, I want a toilet in my attic.
Yeah, in your bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
Did you want to put it in your bedroom or like in the storage room across from you?
No, it's in the bedroom next to the window, so I can sit and read.
Where's Trollskull Manor? Okay. Let me put you back on here.
You can see where I drew the little things. Eventually, I'm trying to have a toilet there, a bathtub right there, and a sink right there.
This is a fireplace.
That's a fireplace?
Yeah.
Hold on, I can't see. Hold on, let me zoom in. Oops.
Where I believe you have drawn your sink, that is a fireplace. You could have a
Dry.
sink put there instead of a fireplace. But
Yeah, it
you
turns
no
into a
longer have
shower. He just
fireplace.
sits in it, and water comes out of it.
No, actually, you know what I'll do? You know how the Japanese have those toilets
Mm-hmm.
where, like, on top of the tank, there's like a sink on top of it?
You want a prison toilet?
Yeah, I want a toilet. I want a toilet that has the sink on top of the toilet.
Okay. Let me look at see how much it was going to cost to do all of the plumbing in the house, and that'll give me an idea.
It's Raggedy Ann, the male one. I forgot what his name is.
Raggedy Andy.
Ah, yes.
Um,
I don't know. I don't think that was it.
For the toilet and the installation, we'll say to buy it and to have it installed and to have the plumbing routed out. We'll say they will do that and clear out the plumbing for the rest of the house so that the other toilets and tubs and sinks and things all work, because they want to make sure all the plumbing works before installing anything new. We'll call it 75 gold.
Okay. And that includes the installation of the toilet?
Yeah, so that's for your toilet and to have the plumbing and the house repaired at the same time.
Okay, hold on.
It's one of those, we won't do one without the other thing because they're not going to install a toilet on plumbing that they're like, it'll just back up.
Okay.
For fixing the toilets.
All right. Well, I'll have to come back later because I only have 52 gold right now.
Okay.
I'll have to wait on my special toilet.
The toilet.
Yeah.
There's no cost associated with the moss, right?
The
I don't
just that
see one.
toilet.
I think the only thing that might, the mirror and the parchment, I think would be the things that don't have a price associated with them, but they're probably
you dropped
cost
the
money.
spell in the. Can you drop the spell in the chat again? 'Cause I don't see it. Now.
The one for the mirror doesn't have anything. Let me see.
Because if it doesn't have a cost associated with it, then the cost is negligible.
Okay, yeah, because it doesn't say a cost.
Yeah, so if it doesn't say a cost, then you don't have to spend money.
Okay. Just says a small silver mirror.
Yeah, so that's easily attainable, cheap enough that you don't have to worry about how much it costs.
Okay, and then the one for parchment, I think. I can't remember which one it is.
Yeah.
Guidance? No.
So here's what I like to do as a spellcaster. I like to look at the components list to see like what it says that you have to use. So in Sanctuaries, it says visual, somatic, and material. So you need a small mirror. Or sorry, verbal, somatic. So verbal means you have to say something. Somatic means you have to wave your hands around, and somehow it incorporates this small silver mirror. So I like to think of like what actions my character does that or like what physical things they're doing when they cast that spell. And it gives you a cool way to describe the spell.
It's for detect magic.
Visual, somatic.
Oh no, sorry, it doesn't. It's a shield of faith. That's the one for the parchment. It doesn't say anything.
Small parchment with a bit of holy text written on it. Yeah. So you could just take a piece of paper and write a prayer.
Okay, so I just want to buy paper, I guess.
Yeah, you can get that from Rashal.
Okay. How much is that?
There's no cost associated with it.
Okay, so I'm just gonna get some paper.
So he just gives you like some scrap paper that he has laying around.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, like from finishing.
From one neighbor to the other.
All right, cool.
Aww.
Okay.
Excuse me.
So some time passes. You guys have a few days of just sort of doing whatever you want. We'll call it a day, where you don't really have anything that needs to be done. And I think one evening, Jesseth, you're sitting in your room with the windows open, probably sitting on your bed, like trying to contemplate what kind of desk or bookshelves you want to get. And something flutters in through your window. It sort of flies in and then gently lands on the bed, and it's a little like paper swan. It like flutters in like a origami swan. It's flapping, and it just lands at the foot of your bed and stops moving.
Well, I guess I'll pick it up. Do I notice any writing on it?
I mean, it's folded up. You'd have to unfold it.
I guess let me ask it this way: does it look like a piece of parchment where there might be writing on it?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, yeah, I'll open up this swan to read it.
Okay, you open it up, and it does have writing on the inside. Rainier tells it, bet. He bought you tickets to the opera tonight at Lightsinger Theater in the C Ward. If you are interested, meet Mert at intermission. Private box C. Formal attire is required for admittance.
Are these tickets for? Let's see.
There's no ticket. It's just a piece of paper.
When it says you, it's referring to. Okay.
It doesn't say.
Okay.
But it landed on the foot of your bed.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Looks like I'm.
Yeah, it's probably for Buster.
Looks like I'm gonna go to the opera. In formal attire, of course.
In formal attire.
Except, my regular. Let's see. I'll wear my black cloak.
If you wanted to, a suit of fine clothes, like noble's clothes, is 15 gold pieces. If you wanted to buy full attire.
No, I think I'll just wear my cloak and see where it takes me.
Okay.
It's just not gonna be allowed in.
So do you tell any of the other team members, like, hey, I got this piece of paper, or you just get up and sort of leave?
I just kind of leave.
Okay. So Jessus flitters out of the house at some point. You guys have gotten used to like coming and goings on his own. And you head down to opera. And it's an opera house. It's a big theater, and it has billing out front that's backlit by like magical lights. And the title of the play is there. There's a box office out front, and like a busker standing behind it, and The Fall of Tiamat is the name of the play that is apparently being put on.
Classic comedy.
Yeah, and you go up to the front counter.
Hold on, you're cutting out. You go up to the front counter and what?
There's a young man in like a bellhop's outfit who like looks like he's in the need of a shave. And he looks up at you and kind of blinks and then looks you up and down. And I assume you like close your cloak up to like hide your clothing a bit. And he sort of takes a deep breath and sighs and goes, "Can I help you, sir?"
Looks like a meme. Like that creepy meme with the.
So clarification on your sentence. So, do I have the tickets, or am I just supposed to? Okay.
Bye. Perfect. Why you? That's the reaction.
My attendance is required at this opera.
And he nods and he goes, "Did you have tickets, or do you have the reserved?"
So I want to use telepathy on this young man. I want to have a voice kind of appear in his mind saying, "This man doesn't need any tickets."
Okay. Yeah, he sort of looks around confused. What's your name? And like he pulls a book out from underneath the box office.
Didn't think this far ahead.
Just tell him your name, you numbnuts!
Yes, my name is Jesseth.
He scans through the book for a second and goes, "Oh, you're already on the list, man." And he pulls a ticket out from underneath the counter and slides it through the little hole. And you take the ticket. And he's like, "Enjoy the show. It starts shortly.
Okay.
Welcome to the Light Singer."
Okay. So is
Yeah,
my ticket in this box, or is it just kind of like general admission, or where is
he
it?
just no, I mean you take the ticket in and the guy takes it and rips it out and he points you toward one of the private boxes up above you.
Okay, I'll nod and be on my way up to the box to enjoy
Okay.
the play.
So
Are there any
go up,
snacks for sale?
yeah, there's waiters and waitresses about with like drinks and food on them. People are starting to get like the theaters at that point where people are murmuring and the curtain's still closed, so you can hear like the soft talking of the crowd and things like that. But the show hasn't started yet. You have a few minutes.
Well, I think I'm going to go and see what they have at the snack and drink counter.
Okay, I mean they have wine and like artisan cheeses. It's a high end place. Everything is velvet and heavy. They have booze of all varieties. Little crudités like spread out on platters. There's a swan made out of ice that they're pouring drinks off of.
I think I'll have some cheese.
Okay, yeah. Purchase, grab some snacks and sort of wander about. The place is filled with like nobles, probably like lords and ladies in their finest, getting ready for the show. People start to filter out of away from the snack bar and into the theater itself, and you can hear the strings of a violin being like the final tunes put on it, and then that as the band plays just before the play starts to let people know to take their seats.
Well, I guess I'll have to go take my seat in the box.
Okay.
At the
Yeah,
back
so
of
when
the
you
box.
when you go up to the box, it's there's only like 3 seats in there. So you push through the curtain and you see on the other side of the curtain there's a fat man with like curly blonde hair and a very ostentatious like blue and gold outfit and a big flowing mustache. He has a hat that he's taken off and set to one side. And he sort of looks up at you and smiles. There's a sword that he's unbuckled from his big rotund chest and hung on the chair next to him. He looks like this.
My kind of guy.
Yeah, he looks up at you and smiles.
It's like Colonel Mustard from
Yeah.
Blue.
Kind of nods at you excitingly, and oh yes, hello. My name is Mert. Please sit. We have things to discuss.
I nod and take my seat.
Okay, you sit down next to him, and he brushes his fine moustache, and he has a plate of mostly eaten food next to him and a glass of mostly drink wine. He takes a big swig of the wine and he goes, "Oh yes, as I said, my name is Mert." And before he can like go any further, the curtains come open, and a giant woman, think classic like cartoon depiction of an opera singer, is on stage, and she begins belting out some kind of song, and she's dressed like some kind of warrior, and they begin to sing, and the opera starts, and it becomes hard to hear Mert. And this goes on for like half an hour, get a word here and there, but the opera itself being too loud for him to actually talk to you. And then finally there's an intermission, and he takes a big sigh, but there's been like dragon battles on stage, and there was like a giant multi-headed dragon that actually breathed fire that was rolled out at some point, and the whole thing is sung in what languages do you speak?
Oh man, Common, Elvish, and Deep Speech.
Okay, so the whole thing is sung in some that is guttural and sort of angry sound, which seems to fit the tone of the opera itself. But he goes, "Oh, finally, Lord, I thought that woman would never shut her trap. Well, why do I come to such things?" Anyway, as I was saying, my name is Mert, and I represent a certain group of individuals, and we thought that perhaps your particular talents might be useful.
My particular talents? I'm
Uh,
sorry, you'll have to tell me what you mean.
he sort of smiles and nods as, well, from what I understand it, you're something of a magic user, though your magic is, well, it's quite subtle, I've been told, yes.
Oh, yes?
He nods, and he's like, in the organization I represent, subtlety is something of importance. We thought perhaps you would like a bit of work, something you could do quietly, not the running around the city slaying things is your thing to do.
Go on.
He nods, and I would have many tasks. Come, let us refill our bag.
Hold on, you cut out pretty bad in there.
He wants to go get another drink.
Okay.
So he takes you, you get another drink, he makes some like chit chat about the weather until you guys return to the box. And before the band can like start kicking up again and the play starts again, he goes, "Well, yes, if you would be interested, then you see, one of the drays working in the city is pulled by a mayor named Maxine. Maxine is an unusual, not just for her size and strength, but in her intelligence. What I'd like you to do is locate her, find out if she can tell us the identity of any of the Zint operatives in town, and see if we can determine their whereabouts, you see."
If you can find the location of what? The Zent opera? I couldn't hear that.
Yeah, he wants you to try to talk to a horse.
You're cutting out again,
He
I'm sorry.
wants you to find a horse and talk of some Zint something.
Operatives.
I see. Sure. And I assume there would be something in this for me?
He nods and he's like, "Well, consider this one something of a test."
Test, eh? And if I pass this test of yours? Hello?
Okay, there we go. Yeah, he says, "Oh, yes, payment, but consider this something of a test. A simple task to, see if you're up to anything more complicated."
And say I decide to do this test, where would I be able to find you afterwards?
He looks at you a little aghast and a little annoyed, and he's like, "Dear sir, do you not recognize the name Mert?"
So you just want me to show up to your to your place? You want me to meet? Do you?
He's like, he waves his hand like dismissively. He's like, "Everyone in town knows where my house is. For years, people have suspected me as being the open lord, or sorry, one of the masked lords of Waterdeep. A ridiculous notion." Yes,
So you want
finding me will not be difficult, lad.
Okay. I just thought you might prefer secrecy, but I guess I was mistaken. All right.
Yeah, and that's the moment where you like he puts two and two together, where you're like, "I thought we were gonna do this in secret. We're meeting at a weird dark opera, and now you just want me to come by your house when I'm done?" And he kind of looks at you and he's like, "Oh, well, perhaps then you just simply leave me a note in my box, and I will have someone contact you as I did today."
Very well.
He nods.
Well, I must be going. This place sucks.
He nods and he's like, "Oh, do take another drink with you as you leave."
I don't drink.
He kind of looks at you confused, like aghast, like, "Oh Lord, he doesn't drink? I've made a terrible mistake." And then the curtain closes behind him. And you can hear the belting and the guttural language behind you, and as this opera continues on,
Mm.
and you
Alright.
are back out onto the street. Did anybody else have anything else they would like to do? And then we'll probably take a 5-minute break.
I want to finish my puppet, and I'm gonna.
She's been designing it. It's creepy.
I have. I love it. It's gonna be good. And I'm gonna like tie it up with like a little ribbon. I'm gonna put a note next to it. And it's just gonna say like, "This is for you." And I'm gonna like leave it on the bar or something.
I'm gonna search for the scarecrow smell. Wander around as a dog for a while.
Okay. Make your perception check with advantage. And what part of the city do you want to search?
I'm gonna start with the area that's close-ish, or not close to the gate, but like that area that's around the gate. Just so I can kind of catch a direction that it's going in.
And the northward, up by the north gate?
Yeah.
Is it the troll gate? Which gate is that?
The one that's closest to the farms, whichever one that is.
I think it's just the north gate. Okay. Yeah, make your perception check.
Oh wait, I gotta use the dog character sheet. Doggo! And I am a small dog, real close to the ground.
Oh,
okay.
Little dog.
You a Scotty?
No, I'm a Yorkie.
You don't pick up on the smell. It's been some time, and it probably has rained.
That's a terrible roll.
Eventually, does anybody else leave the house, or did the rest of you kind of stay in the house?
I think, shoot.
Because you're out shopping all day.
Yeah, I'm out shopping.
Okay, so we'll say that Layla, Kelric, and Jesseth all sort of return back to Troll Skull Manor around the same time, around dusk. And when you get there, there's like somebody on your porch. He has like a big floppy hat pulled down over his face, and he's laid up against the wall. It looks like he's asleep. And he's like a giant bag, like a big homeless person bag sitting next to him. And he's a little dirty and a little beat up looking, and he's like just passed out on your front porch.
I'm a dog. I'm gonna go sniff him.
Yeah, you walk up to sniff him, and he reaches up and pushes the hat up so that he can see you, because he had it pulled down over his face, and he's sort of like this scruffy looking guy with curly brownish hair and like a scraggly beard. Looks like he hasn't shaved in a couple days. He's got his cloak pulled over him so you can't see much of his body. He sort of looks at the dog, and he sniffs at you like, and then he smiles, and he just leans out and like scratches your head. And he's got like,
I lead it to the scratches. Scratches.
Yeah, he's got like a big, thick, like calloused hand. So he's like just scratching Kelric's head, and he sort of like looks over at the rest of you. And he's just looking at you. He doesn't say anything.
Hi. Is he hot?
Let me look at his character sheet. Game rules, sources.
Okay, so you're gonna need to put a hotness rating on every character now.
You should just roll a d20 and.
No, he has a.
5 out of 10.
Hang on. Where the? Oh, there it is. I'm used to doing this on mobile. Look away, Susie.
Well, too bad. That's not the one you're getting.
I
know. I drew that one, and I was like,
he's not particularly attractive. Maybe down to the fact that he's like a little dirty and beat up looking.
Do you need a bath?
He goes, "Oh no, sorry," and he stands up and he's like, "I'll go home and take a bath." And as he stands up, like the cloak falls off his shoulders, and he's wearing like leather, like hardened leather armor, and he has a pair of short swords like crossed across his like behind his back, and on his chest he has like a 10 star, like a sheriff's badge. And, and he's like, no, I just I've been out of town a little bit, and well, people said they've been hearing a wolf howl here at night. You guys aren't keeping any wolves, are you? I don't hear you. And roll 20.
Just come in.
And he sort of looks down at himself and starts like
Please.
brushing. He's like, well,
Please.
I got somebody I gotta see.
Well, that's fine. But I mean, if you want to check us for wolves.
You're getting squeezed from the peanut gallery.
She's just gonna push him in the door. She's like, come on, come on.
Yeah, you go up to like try to like shoo him into the door, and he just like stands there, and he's not a big guy. Like he's not tall, but like when you push on him, he's just solid. Like he doesn't. Like I'm sure you don't shove him.
No.
But you gotta push on him, and he kind of looks you up and down. He's like, no, I honestly have things to do, but as long as you don't have a wolf in there.
Did I hear the wolf? I don't remember.
No, you haven't heard it yet.
Oh, no, we don't have any
Kelric did,
wolves.
right?
Kelric's a dog!
Yeah.
We have a dog.
Yeah, he
That's
looks
a
down at
person.
Kelric, and he's like, maybe it was just the dog.
Yeah, it was just this little Yorkie.
Could have been.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Probably.
He goes,
I
look,
got to bark sometimes.
you folks have a good night. Good luck with the old manor here.
And
Here it's haunted.
your name is?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm Finn.
Hi, Finn. I'm
He holds out his hand.
Layla. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, he's got like a thick ass calloused hand, like somebody that works with his hands a lot.
Well, if you do need a place to stay, we're
Hey.
trying to make this place livable.
He shakes his head and he kind of like points at the badge and he's like, no, they don't pay me that bad.
Okay. Well, keep up the good work. Just
Yeah. And he just kind of watches you guys all filter into the house, and he picks up his giant pack full of like God knows what, and starts wandering back off into the city.
All the cameos.
Alright.
I'm a happy person. I love cameos.
Finn,
the
huh? Well, that's an interesting man. Do we have a wolf? Guys, do you guys have a
Like,
wolf?
as he's walking away, you see him take out a pipe and like stop in the middle of the street and look at it for a second. And he takes a deep breath and sighs and puts it back into his like side bag and wanders off into the street.
He's out of pipe tobacco.
Or maybe he's trying to quit.
Smoke.
Ghost maple.
Okay. Anything else?
After you left, Layla, did you ask if we had a wolf? Like after he was gone?
Yeah, when he was gone, I'm like, do we have a wolf?
The dog nods. Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's not really accurate.
Where is this wolf and why did I just lie to the cops?
The dog chases its tail.
Very helpful.
I think Layla rolls her eyes and then just goes upstairs. She
Okay.
goes and, does her makeup up for the evening because she's gonna go to the yawning portal.
Ooh. Ooh. Tigra.
She's gonna be up to no good.
Did
She's
you
on these bears.
Layla, did you want to talk to Buster about ghost thing?
Oh, yeah, you guys. So, I went to bed because I was a non-believer. And then you guys were all freaking out and you're buying ghost equipment? What is going on? I see you've got, some...
EKG.
Yeah, you've got some different things in your arms that you're carrying. What are these?
I got some bath beads because it wanted things to be clean.
Bath beads, huh? Can I have some?
I hope you don't mind the smell of sage.
Does the ghost mind the smell of sage?
Ghost, knock once if you don't like sage, and twice if you do like sage.
There's no answer.
No.
I think ghost is shy.
Okay. Well, Sure, yeah. If you got some bath beads, heck yeah. I could use these in my rituals in the morning.
Oh, yes, have some.
Added
So,
one thing of bath beads. Tell me, how'd it happen? How'd you meet him?
okay, and so he like sits you down at the table excitedly, and it's like at this very spot and stuff. And everyone fell asleep
Except for you, right?
except for me.
Could she roll insight to see if he's like pulling her leg? Or if he actually believes it?
I mean, I don't think you need to roll this. Buster honestly believes it.
Okay, okay. So yeah, he's believing. Okay. Well, continue.
And then like my candles were getting low, see, and Curtis fell asleep, I think, and then the candles went out, and everything got cold and quiet, and the table started shaking.
Can I like roll Arcana or something to know if that's a thing a ghost can do?
Religion.
Religion? Okay. Well, I got a +1 to religion.
Depending on the type of ghost, sure. I mean, different spirits have different ways of haunting different things.
Okay, okay. Continue, continue. He's shaking the table.
So I said some stuff, and two green maple leaves fluttered down out of the ceiling.
Does Kelrick like have maple trees up there now? I haven't been in his room.
Oh.
Kelrick's time's probably run out by now, so he might be at Kelrick again.
How many of you talked to Thala?
Who's that?
Who?
The lady at the Emerald Enclave?
No, she runs the oh god.
Oh, is she the greenhouse lady?
The greenhouse lady.
I have. I bought seeds.
I have.
Can you make intelligence saving throws? Who rolled a 21?
I rolled a natural 20.
Okay. So Layla, you remember talking to Thala. She did not call it Troll Skull Manor. She called it Leaf's Place.
Leaf's place. Ah.
That's how she referred to it, as Leaf's old place.
Leaf's old place. Oh! 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 Buster! Buster!
What?
You said leaf spell, right? Shit, what was it called? Leaf's old...
Yeah, she was just like, oh, you moved into Troll Skull Manor. That's Leaf's old place. Oh, you guys are trying to pick up Leaf's old place.
We're trying to figure... The Leaf... His name is Leaf. And she's like freaking out, panicked. She's like, whoa. She's suddenly like a huge believer now. She's a bit skeptical. And she goes on and she's gonna tell you, I talked to... Oh man, what's her name? Plant Lemon. When I was talking to her and I was buying my sage bundle, she's like, oh, you're moving into Leaf's old place. Troll Skull Manor. It's Leaf.
Yeah.
Leaf! His name is Leaf!
Leaf, are you listening to this? We found out your name is Leaf.
I don't think Prize, since he literally gave you a leaf. You asked him his...
This is a huge development.
Nah, because the last time he had acted daytime. Technically, last time I saw him.
Oh man. His name is Leaf. Sweet.
Sweet.
Alright.
We need to get more leaf decorations.
I guess I'm gonna wait for you to continue telling me the rest of the story. I don't know what else you guys discussed.
Pretty much, he'll...
You cut out, Rachel.
Cut out.
Can you hear me?
There you go.
Yes.
Oh. Damn. I'm telling you, Discord is like being really terrible.
You guys want to switch to Hangouts and take a 5-minute break?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we did say we were gonna
Yeah,
Let's
let's
do
just
that.
start using Hangouts.
like
Alright.
a while.